20th, and that is Dave. Hello.
Hello, and please excuse me if there are and or have been any issues with this because streaming's not exactly easy to do, especially when you got basically a potato as a computer working on it.
It gives me a new kick. Roland show. This is just us talking, and if you want to leave feedback and everything, you can. Feedback is always appreciated. So there's going to be two parts. Dave and I are going to do the first half of the show, and then the second half of the show, we're going to be bringing in a special guest who Dave and I know well. Obviously, when the three of us are in, it's going to go off the rails. I know it. It's going to be hilarious humor, and plus, silence breaking. So I'm just going to say that. So, Dave and I are here. Let's review Monday Night Raw.
Okay. So this whole week was a mess. Well, not complete mess, but like messy spots.
Mhm.
So on Raw we started with Brock and Heyman. So Brock showing up for another $500,000.
Mhm.
Basically Heyman doing his Heyman shtick again. Speaks up big about Brock. Also speaks up a bit about Drew. Drew comes out, says thank you for giving me the respect. Say that he's bragging about how he's taken out Reigns and Ambrose, taking 2/3 of the Shield down. He's gonna take out the third tonight with Rollins. And it ends up with Rollins beating him up with a steel chair. What was it? Like 16 or 17 times on the back.
There's a video out there.
I was just about to bring it up.
Oh. Should I bring it up?
Yeah. Because I know about it, but other may not.
Apparently there's a video out there that McIntyre was not selling the chair shots. And the cameraman was getting into it.
Yeah. It wasn't so much McIntyre wasn't selling. It was more the cameraman's going up and down, up and down, up and down, so much with all the chair shots.
I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I thought it was pretty funny.
It was.
I can't remember who was getting into it.
Yep.
I was like, that's a good leg workout.
Yeah. And arms.
Ow.
He's holding the camera.
I don't know who's gonna be. I don't know if McIntyre is gonna be in trouble. Someone said he's sick.
What?
Someone said McIntyre is sick.
Sick? How?
He said he's working sick.
Working sick. Oh, okay. Well, no.
If you want to talk somebody working sick, I am.
Yep. I am too in a kind of way, but not as bad.
Yeah, but obviously they diagnosed me with pharyngitis, which is tonsillitis a little bit. It may be a misdiagnosis a little bit. I don't know. I think the doctor there was lazy. Because prime doctors, it's hard to get in. And obviously I didn't want to waste my time. I had to go down to CVS afterwards and get medicine. They gave me some type of numbing thing. I'm like, it's not gonna work. They gotta do something with the cough though, but who knows? But on to the next segment, which was Finn and his mystery partner versus Leo and Bobby.
Perfect example of you getting your hopes up again. Because you were talking a big game over the whole week, thinking that was going to be the Undertaker that shows up. Because you were still with the belief that Undertaker hasn't got a match at Mania. He's gonna he's gonna show up and it's gonna be kind of like a Dead Man Wars Demon thing. He's gonna show up and be the partner, and then that's gonna lead to the match at Mania. And it wasn't him.
Cole in a way kind of ruined it because he said monstrous,
Like
Oh my
8
god!
times.
And apparently, it was hilarious with Leo getting tossed around the ring. But
Because that's his
I,
job
I,
now.
I what?
Because that's his job now.
I honestly I thought it was gonna be Sammy too, because like spoiler alert, could be Sami Zayn, and like it would have made sense. But then again, Braun would make sense. Braun obviously got the win over Leo
Well, Braun
Rush.
would make sense. I guess just had to get him on the show somehow.
You got to do that.
Yep.
But now that Braun got the win over Leo for Finn, what's gonna happen next?
I don't know. All we know is for Strowman is like I don't. Strowman's is in a very weird place and has been for like the last year and year and a bit. Because like you would think that what was it, a year and a half ago or something like that, in the middle of 2018, there was talk that maybe he could be Universal Champion, take the title off of Brock, and now it's like since then WWE have done such a great job of just neutering him, basically, like making him what was it, not non coincidental.
Okay.
It's like he could be the big monster, be the big monster champion, and all that, and then it's like they put him in crap. Like the Nicholas thing at WrestleMania, it's like that was another thing. Everybody got their hopes up over nothing. Who could it be? Could it be Could it be Angle? Could it be Sting coming back? Could it be Undertaker coming out again? Anybody? Who could be partner B? And it's a kid in the crowd.
What kind of? Go ahead.
Oh, that too, yeah. Just to get Roman over, and then that ended up being nothing because he just turned again.
Mhm.
Ugh.
And in a couple weeks, I was reading that he's going to be the honorary Shield member versus Lashley, McIntyre, and Corbin. But with the brand slip, anything could happen. Now, as for my favorite and Bobby Lashley,
you're still freaking out over this. That this man, he hasn't got a match yet. But like the match is gonna happen because why? If the feud was over, they wouldn't have this match.
Yeah, and obviously you have 2 weeks left. They're gonna have to announce it either this week or the following week. You got 2 weeks left.
Yeah, but it's like I said, if their plan was to put anybody else in the IC title matches, they've got a weird way of doing it.
I mean, not I think that Leo could be out of the equation.
Even that's weird because you had them breaking up, then you gotta put them together again within a month. So you're gonna split them up again.
So what's gonna happen come Monday? Is this going to be a third year with the triple Intercontinental title being on the line? Been portraying both. Okay, you know what? That kind of does make sense to put him as a demon for the triple threat because both Lashley and both Leo were giving him problems. So that makes a lot of sense. That way, Lashley doesn't have the excuse saying, "Oh, I lost the title." That way, Leo has the excuse. Doesn't have the excuse saying why I lost the title. You pissed him off for the past couple months, for 6 months, to be honest, and this is a perfect reason.
Perhaps,
but who knows? Don't forget, I am going to the show on Friday, so maybe a fourth person could be put in the Intercontinental title match, aka me. No, I'm just kidding.
What you need is just completely buckle under the weight, just get into the ring.
Yeah, I do have a bum knee. That is true. But yeah. But obviously, it was a happy week this week. Finn finally won.
For you anyway. Anyway, next Mona Bliss. So yeah. Again, WWE not knowing what to do with Alexa Bliss because I'm still injured. I don't know.
I heard. No, she's not injured. A video in Mexico came out saying she was cleared, but WWE doesn't have plans for her yet. I think after WrestleMania, plans are gonna
Yeah, well, hopefully, because
happen.
I don't want this to be the only thing she does.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Roman Bliss, Elias comes out, basically says that he is the headlining musical act of WrestleMania. So I guess Kid Rock, Flow Rider, and anybody else wasn't available. Then No Way Jose's music hits, and Heavy Machinery is leading the conga line for reasons.
What?
Yeah, because we don't know what to do with them either. Then somebody in the conga line attacks Elias, and happens to be No Way Jose in disguise. Very poor disguise, but a disguise nonetheless. It worked.
Not confession. Confession. I missed the segment, so I just saw Elias come back and beat up what the heck's his name? No Way Jose.
Yeah, it did bleed into a match, which Elias won, so it completely undid everything that just happened in the previous segments.
So I basically skipped out.
Yeah, I don't think he missed much anyway.
Alright. Next part.
Okay. For his farewell match, which by the way, I will point out, you notice how they're calling it a farewell match, not a retirement match?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if WWE just doesn't like using the word retirement, or Kurt Angle's calling it a farewell match because, like, I didn't say I retired, it was just farewell, so it could go elsewhere, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, big hype of who it could be, and he said Baron Corbin.
Most underwhelming moment.
Underwhelming would be an understatement in itself. Cause it's like I know somebody pointed out, and actually I think Angle said it himself in promos afterwards, that in a way, storyline wise, it does make sense because you had the two of them as feuding general managers for Raw for a bit. So like as that, I can kind of understand it and kind of storyline, but this sounds like a match that should have happened at Fastlane, not at WrestleMania.
You know, I honestly, I 100% agree, because Mania should be where everyone goes out. Corbin is 100% underwhelming. And I said this to myself. I was like, they should have put Cena in. They should have stopped the storylines for this match. Have a full circle moment. And it's like, okay, what happens if Angle defeats Cena or Cena defeats Angle? What's going to happen here?
I kind of it was when they said that Baron Corbin was the one that was going to be in the match. For the rest of the show, I was just waiting for them saying, "Oh, by the way, I didn't mean that. Here's my real opponent." Especially when Corbin had a match later on, I was kind of waiting for that. Wait, I was joking when I said that kind of thing, but it never came. So, well, okay. That was weird. But anyway, it did lead into Kurt Angle having a match with Chad Gable, which, if you actually look at the background of it, it's actually kind of sweet to have this match.
Mm-hmm.
And not count the whole, or why did you not have Chad Gable be Kurt Angle's son as opposed to Jason Jordan thing. It was actually I saw a tweet that Chad did after the match, which he showed his he had a signed copy of Kurt Angle's autobiography signed by Angle himself, and this was like before the 2000 Olympics. So they still had like the connection anyway, even with being Olympians. But they had the Kurt Angle thanking, wishing Chad luck. So it was good that this match happened, and also good that when Chad Gable came out, he had the American Alpha gimmick as opposed to being the Glorious thing, which more suited. But anyway, yep. Good match at the end. Angle wins. Gable even put the ankle lock on Angle at one
Oh
point.
yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. Ended up going the other way around. Angle makes Gable tap. So Angle wins that, and then Corbin shows up to gloat, and everyone gets pissy because you're not Cena. Which is weird. I think someone actually. I think he said they were actually chanting "We want Cena" in Chicago, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like it took about 20 years, but it's the first time the Chicago crowd actually wanted Cena, as opposed to wanting him to lose all the time or to go away, which is weird. You're breathing into the mic, by the way.
Sorry, I'm just heavy breathing.
Yeah, that's okay. Bayley and Sasha comes out, say that they've been hearing the Iconics go after them, and they're going to go to SmackDown and take them on SmackDown. Then they get interrupted by Natalya and Beth Phoenix. Beth says that she's coming out of retirement and they want to challenge Bayley and Sasha for the tag titles at WrestleMania. Which it's interesting. I was kind of thinking it would be towards Nia and Tamina, but you got this, so
it's gonna be a fatal 4-way.
Yeah, I was gonna wait until SmackDown before saying that, but yeah, like that's what's gonna happen.
Okay.
Especially with the way they're building up. But it leads to they all have a brawl, then it leads to Sasha versus Natalya in a match. It goes about 60 seconds before Nia Jax comes out and interrupts. And
the fans were not happy.
Yeah, definitely not happy. But also in the recurring segment I like to call wait, Tamina's still here? Tamina shows up, and this week it is... Wait, Tamina now has merch? Like, she's been there for 10 years, and this is the first time... I think I saw someone said it's either her first piece of merch in 10 years, or she just got so desperate she just made a custom hoodie and wore it. Tamina comes out, beats everybody up, and no contest. And there you go. See you all at WrestleMania.
See you at Mania.
We had a Mojo segment, which... then Ricochet versus Jinder. So Ricochet wins, because Jinder has gone from, in the space of a year, gone from WWE Champion to... Actually, in the space of 2 years, went from Jobber to WWE Champion to Jobber again. Well done.
Oh, jeez.
Ronda Rousey versus Dana Brooke. Beforehand, Ronda Rousey was seen backstage with Travis Brown. So, there's no reason that's gonna, you see him backstage. That's not gonna be leading into anything later on tonight.
Nope.
I saw some people that were kind of hoping with Dana Brooke being put in here, that they're hoping that maybe this will give her a chance to show what she can do and be able to shine, and maybe be able to push Ronda. It's like, hey, you could actually might actually have a challenge here. Nope, squashed, gone. That's it.
Jesus.
Well, that speech you did last week was very useful. Led to nothing at all. Rousey put the armbar on, wouldn't let go. Referees came in. All referees got beaten up. Even Travis Brown beats up the cameraman. So, not cameraman, the security guys. So yeah.
Cool story,
yay! You've gone from wrestling is fake to I'm gonna be with these fake security guys. Okay. Corbin against Apollo Crews. Corbin gets the win, the sneaky win, and Angle's happy. Right. Then Batista does a segment, like a pre-record. She basically just says, I don't like Triple H. And
Yeah.
That's simple. That's really simple. Why did anybody else not think about this?
So someone say he looks like a friggin' mob boss.
Hey, you can pull it off.
Yeah. That's like, oh, hey, I hate this guy. I'm gonna end up killing him.
Well, I didn't say killing him, but it ended his career, so same thing, I guess.
Yeah, end his career.
Yeah. Braun Strowman goes backstage and says, "I am so mad at these two comedian guys all over that the disrespecting me that I'm gonna do something about it. I'm going into the Andre Battle Royal." Okay. Cool.
Cool beans.
Yeah. McIntyre does a does a promo before his match, and then you got the match.
He challenges
Oh yeah, he challenges Roman to WrestleMania, so that puts away my fears of they're gonna try to shoehorn Roman into the Universal title match. Okay, they actually do have some restraint.
So this is not his 500th main event. So that streak ends. Which obviously I highly doubt. But obviously for now,
give it time. Give it time.
When it's confirmed. He's not going against a part-timer or someone said a 500-year-old. Hello?
Hi. No, I'm still here. I'm just letting you go.
Okay, no, someone said, he's not going against a 500-year-old.
Alright.
So he can actually have probably a decent match this year.
Maybe. We'll see. Then you got Rollins versus McIntyre. Baseball down to Brock distracting. Brock distracting Rollins. Distraction leads McIntyre getting the Claymore on Rollins and beats him.
And Megan is happy.
Well, I'm kind of worried about this. Like, I'm glad that McIntyre won because I would like to see him actually do something here. But I've got the bad feeling that, well, they probably have nothing for him for Mania. Actually, if anything, I would think the most they could do with McIntyre is have him win the Battle Royal. Okay. Which I can see happening, which probably would be my prediction unless they actually put him in a match.
Who?
McIntyre.
In the Battle Royal?
In the Battle Royal, yeah. Unless they put him in, or somehow put him in a different match. Oh, actually, no, we can't. No, Roman. What am I thinking? Never mind. 5-second memory.
I think well, we'll get to the match count when we come there. But yeah.
Yeah. So
but I was happy.
Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah. give it 3 weeks.
2.
2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks.
Okay. So all right. So moving to probably the most anticipated show of the week, SmackDown. Excuse me. Most anticipated SmackDown.
Yeah. I just want to ask this real quick. Did they not say that the Gauntlet match was going to start the show?
They did say that.
Yeah, because I was wondering, because I thought I saw that, and then it didn't.
I mean, the hype was there.
Yeah, but I guess because of the hype, it's like, we could, don't need to have it start the show. We can be able to put it at the end, and people will still be interested in it, as long as they're going to lose interest in an hour. But anyway, The Miz starts the show. Responds to Shane's last week. Responds basically just saying, Shane wasn't born the best in the world, he was born the worst. Alright.
Oh.
Yeah. Ben's basically saying that it took 13 years to finally get the fans' respect. So, well, true.
Yeah, he had my respect already, Miz.
Yeah, but I think it's just like this is the first proper time that he's been a face, so he couldn't say it beforehand.
Yeah, not a shove down our throat face. This was.
Oh yeah, the first face one he had, like when they tried to pair him with Ric Flair and all that. That just was not genuine at all. That was definitely forced. So
yeah,
this one works better. which is weird because I actually still thought he would be the heel in this, but okay. Sorry. And Miz just said he's gonna beat his ass for WrestleMania. Sasha and Bayley on SmackDown against the Iconics. Lacey Evans shows up for the first time in a week. Hello, we missed you. Iconics actually beat them, which is a shock because I could have easily seen this match just like kind of a throwaway thing. It's like, oh, we need, we're gonna build up a feud for 2 weeks and then just gonna get squashed. But no, Iconics actually won.
Mm-hmm.
And that also leads into the belief that, hey, this could be a fatal 4-way now. God, I feel so old now. Rey Mysterio has a backstage segment, and his son is there. Dominic is there.
I remember when he was a baby.
I remember him when his dad was fighting. Ray and Eddie were fighting for the custody of the son. Like the most awkward storyline ever, if you actually look back at it. And then I just looked back and I thought, holy crap, that's 13 and a half years ago.
Yeah.
Oof. Like if you didn't say who that was, I would have no clue who that guy was. But now you mentioned it's Dominic. It's like, damn, time flies by fast.
I heard he's a grandfather, Rey Mysterio.
Eddie?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't looked into the family tree, so I wouldn't know. Anyway, segment basically boils down to say Ray says he is challenging Samoa Joe for the US title at WrestleMania. And Dominic says that Samoa Joe's a bully. So, there you go.
Yeah,
time flies fast.
Dominic's in his
I mean, he's got at the very least late teens, early 20s now.
No, he's 22.
Yeah, because I was thinking he had to be around like 8 or so when the Eddie thing happens.
Mhm.
So yeah, yep, 21, 22 would sound about right.
Yeah, he's there.
Yep.
But Ray's, I think Ray's probably gonna win at Mania. Who knows?
Well, I don't know. It's one of those matches that go either way because it could be a case of the Rey Mysterio getting one more title reign, or it could be the Legend putting over the current town. Never know.
Mhm.
Kevin Owens has a KO show again. Snazzy jacket and tie combo. I'm surprised he just I might have looked back again, but I'm kind of surprised it wasn't just a. It might have been actually just a blazer on top of his shirt, new shirt or whatever.
Mhm.
Gets up Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Owens basically tries to antagonize them, and works. And we got a big brawl. And again, another case of what a great job the quote-unquote security men do. For the second time in 2 nights, the security guy gets beaten up.
Oh, jeez.
Great job, guys. AJ Styles as a backstage segment. I just look at this blurb here. It says, AJ Styles says Randy Orton isn't good. Orton is great. The difference between Orton and Styles that Orton is a first round pick and Styles is a walk on. Then he says he's going to tear the house down.
Yeah, that could be true too. Yep.
It'd be interesting to see, especially it's another one of those matches that looking back at years ago, you would think, wow, this is a match you'd be interested in see. Never thought you would actually see it. Especially it's like AJ Styles going against one of the top guys in WWE. Like Cena was one, and they have a pretty good series. And now you got Orton, and you got that for WrestleMania. So, whew, really good.
Yep.
And then the big story arc of the show.
Kofi.
The gauntlet match. Daniel Bryan comes out with Rowan. Daniel Bryan, weirdly, as a heel, makes a promo basically comparing what Kofi's going through now to what Daniel Bryan went through 5 years ago. Which is weird. Right.
Full circle moment.
Yeah, that's still kind of weird. But yeah, the gauntlet match. Sheamus was first. I'm just gonna sprint through this because I don't know. Sheamus comes first. Sheamus beats him. Oh, sorry. Kofi beats him. Cesaro comes out. Beats him. Rowan comes out. Rowan gets himself disqualified, which is reminiscent of the last gauntlet match, I believe, when Joe got himself disqualified.
Yep.
So it's like it must be like a now trait where it's like if you're gonna have this long match, you're gonna have the big guy get himself DQ'd. Speaking of, Joe comes out. Which actually he does the same. Kofi gets him in a roll up, and then Joe beats him up again, and makes him pass out. So you got two of those moments basically in hell. And then Orton comes out, and a great callback. Orton just says, "He ain't your guy. Trust me, stupid." Great callback.
He did that.
He did that. Said it to the crowd.
Oh God.
Great callback. And I honestly thought when I saw this, and I saw this, cause I thought this was gonna happen leading up to the match, or show, that Kingston was going to battle through, it was going to be the 4 to 5 guys, and then Orton, RKO, loses. I thought that was going to be the case, especially when you had Orton actually come out last. I thought, they're gonna do it, aren't they? They didn't actually. Another roll-up, Kofi rolls up Orton and wins the match. And we assume that he's going to WrestleMania. New Day come out to celebrate. And then the party people shows up. McMahon comes out and basically says, you beat 5 guys, but if you want to go to WrestleMania, you gotta beat 1 more, and that's Daniel Bryan.
And the shitstorm came out.
Oh, yeah. Then it ends up Bryan wins. So there you go. After all that, Kofi's still not guaranteed for WrestleMania.
Somebody said that this is probably this is making Vince like a racist.
I could see somebody coming up with that conclusion, but I think that might be oversimplifying it.
Yeah, and then someone on Reddit said this. I think I sent it to you. I'm not sure. Let me go back here. I sent it to you.
I don't know.
Okay, I just found it.
All right, go on.
Someone said it. I wrote, "Oh my God." And it said, someone wrote, Reddit was a fucking mistake. Alright. Mr. McMahon gets caught on tape saying, "I don't want that N-word to be my champion." That's the only story that exit Vince McMahon from the company. The NFL Network would let that kind of character be on the show. Vince apparently wants off TV, so mission accomplished. Anyway, Steph apologizes and Kofi gets another shot to Mania. Someone said, probably get a lot of mainstream coverage for how controversial it is, too. You know what? Fuck it. I allowed it. Take advantage of the racial tension in the USA right now and have Kofi win it all.
They might jump into conclusions there. I don't know. I just put that all aside, but I'm just looking at the storyline itself, and I got a feeling that looking at this and looking at what they've been doing for a good few feuds the last while, that the WWE are trying to do too much with all these feuds. It's the same with the Becky Charlotte Ronda thing. They're trying to do way too much with the feud, and now it's getting convoluted as hell. This is another case of that, and because it's like, what? There's two more weeks left. You could have easily just had him win this, and then you got 2 more weeks. Like, he's #1 contender, and have 2 more weeks to build up Bryan versus Kofi. But instead, they're building it up as like they're building up as in, he's being screwed out once again. But you're running out of time. You've got 2 weeks, and it's like, when was the last time that the WWE Championship match was not finalized this close to Mania itself? And the other case of, even if, or it should be when, they put him in Kofi into this match, it's still not a guarantee that Kofi will actually win it. So if you're going to do this overextended run just to become #1 contender, and you have him be finally put in as the challenger 2 weeks before Mania, and you still have him lose, what's that gonna say? If you put him in here, then fine. You've built him up. You've got him, up big time. He still comes up short of Mania, fine. But now he's still not in the match.
Here's the thing. I think something tells me that they're building this up for the anticipation. I think, to be honest, they're gonna have Kofi win at Mania for that feel-good moment. Now, mind you, the title hasn't changed hands since 33.
So 2 years.
If you want to minus The Rock, this is a huge WrestleMania. And to be honest, I think this match is going to be the main event over Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. Because looking at, assuming Kofi and Bryan does happen, seeing that you've got Kofi and Bryan, Seth and Brock, and Becky, Charlotte, Ronda, I don't see all 3 of them being feel-good moments. And if I were looking at them, if I had to pick one of them to not be one of those, I'm seeing this. There's just a part of me that just sees WWE still not willing to pull the trick on Kofi, because they're probably thinking, oh, we still got the New Day, they're still gonna be over, they don't need the title.
Here's the thing, honestly, my honest opinion for the not feel good moment is gonna be the Universal title. Something tells me that Brock is gonna retain.
A lot of people will be pissed if that happens.
What?
A lot of people will be pissed if that happens.
But here's the thing: we're 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, and anything can happen from now to then. Time's running out. They have at this moment they have 10 matches, right?
9.
9. Okay, let's talk about the card. Apparently, because they're shook with AEW and everything like that, this is going to be a 17-match card.
That's the talk. And actually looking at it and seeing what matches aren't on the card, yeah. I could actually see it be, actually no, it's okay, yeah, it's 9 official, but 10 to be determined. Right now it's Brock and Rollins for Universal title, Ronda, Becky and Charlotte for the Rollins title, Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese for the Cruiserweight title. By the way, Tony Nese won the Cruiserweight Championship Tournament at 205. Triple H versus Batista, no holds barred. Orton versus Angle versus Corbin. Shane versus The Miz. AJ versus Orton. The Andre Battle Royal. Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. And you also got Asuka defending the title against the winner of a Fatal 4-Way for next week. So that'll be 10. Not included the IC title. Both tag titles. The women's tag title still to be confirmed. That's 4 right there. You've also got WWE title, that's 5. And I think there's another one.
Women's Battle Royal.
The Women's Battle Royal, that'll make it 6. That's 16. You could easily make you could easily make a 17.
Where's the 17th match coming from?
Oh, Roman McIntyre. Boom, 17.
So we have 7 matches basically.
So we have 7. So we've got 10 matches confirmed with one opponent to be determined, and a possible 7 more you can put in. 6 titles and 1 challenge that's to be confirmed. So you could make it 17. That's too much. That is way too much.
That's too much because you're gonna have people getting restless, especially if it's gonna be a boring match.
You got people being restless. You got people being restless bad enough last year when you had a 15. Was it 15 matches last year? I gotta check 14. That. Yeah, 14. 14 last year. So, like, people were thinking 14 was, like, too much. Like, everyone was thinking 7-hour pay-per-view is too long.
Yeah.
This could be 8. This could be an 8-hour show. And I can see WWE doing it. All the talk about WWE possibly trying to turn WrestleMania into a 2-day show. If this is the trends, then I can totally see it happen. Especially in response to New Japan doing that with Wrestle Kingdom. Because they've announced that Wrestle Kingdom next year is going to be a 2-day show. So New Japan beat them to the punch. So if New Japan's doing it, I could definitely see WWE doing it next year as well. I can see them doing it next year. Because God knows that, like, if they're doing 17 this year, what are the chances of them trying to do a 20 next year or the year before, the year after that?
Oh my God, that's gonna be nuts.
17 is nuts, but I can see them going 20 if they're gonna keep going like this. Man. Well, that's Raw and SmackDown.
Okay.
So, a lot to talk about. It's WrestleMania weekend WrestleMania season after all.
These predictions are going to be crazy.
So much. So many.
So many.
Yep.
Like, we have NXT, then we got this. Oh, speaking of NXT, finally they put a band I actually like.
Explain.
As I said last week on the Megan and Dave podcast, Untitled, by the way, I'm a big fan of Disturbed, and Evolution, their album, one of the best albums in years for them, to be honest. I think it's a little bit better than obviously my number one's Believe, but they came out with a bang with this one, and I'm 100% happy they finally used a Disturbed song. Are You Ready? One of the to be honest, I like the song. So
I like them. Well, you know more about music than I do, so.
Well, you don't listen to music.
But yeah, no, I don't really listen to music that much because, like, you know, it's the pop music today, quote unquote, that, you know, I don't really like that. It's like I hear today's music and I call that noise. I don't call it music, I call it noise.
Mhm.
because it's to maybe it's just me being a grumpy old man. Back in my day, we actually used instruments.
Back in my day.
was I was trying to have one there. Yeah,
Back in my
I
day.
only auto-tune was only used for our VCRs. I don't know.
Ironically enough, I still have VCR tapes. Not gonna lie, I do have VCR tapes. And today is the 40th birthday of the CD.
Yeah, CDs are still a thing.
We still sell CDs at my job.
CDs haven't gone extinct. I'm still hoping they don't go fully digital on games. Because no, it's gonna happen. Like even with I know I'm talking to go nerd here. Even with Google announcing they're doing a new console with just the cloud storage and all that, it's not gonna work.
Google has their own gaming console.
Yeah, well, they announced it. They announced it the other day. So, but it's basically I think from what I heard, it's kind of like some kind of service where it's like you just be able to download games anywhere on any device or anything like that. It's been done before, and it's well, if it's been done before and it's failed before. So, but if you got the money of Google, you could make it work, but it'll still be a massive loss. I don't know. They could get it work. Everybody forgot Netflix was movie rental before it became streaming. You never know.
That's what killed Blockbuster.
That's what killed them. Yeah.
That's what to be honest killed Blockbuster.
Technology caught up to them.
It did, yeah. You're 100% right. So, all right. So, commercial break.
I think so. You got
all right, so,
well, actually a commercial break, but I don't have anything set for to play.
Ah, damn it. We came out prepared this time, ladies and gentlemen.
We never come prepared. Right. Have you listened to this show? We never prepared.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. We 100% suck.
Well, that's gonna be. I guess. I don't know. What? Hang on. Let me just. I think I can get something. Hang on. Well, I got the what's it called, the old walk culture music. I put that on, like elevator music.
Oh Jesus Christ! All right.
That's better than nothing.
All right. So, let me get a quick drink of water. And we're gonna hype up our next guest. Yes, yep. This is over. How long does the YouTube go? I know when we were on Mixler, we had like 2 hours and stuff.
We got 4.
4 hours.
Four. But it's four for replays. We can go as long as we want, but 4 hours if you want to keep this as a replay thing.
All right, so
we got time. We're only 50 minutes in, so.
Okay, so we still got time. All right, so let me just get a quick drink of water, as they would say, and we're gonna bring in our next guest.
Yes.
Just gonna hype him up. All right. Let me just get a drink of water.
All right.
All right, I got my drink of water because my throat was getting a little bit dry. I gotta be careful.
Oh, that's too loud. Hang on, sorry, that's too loud. My apologies. All right, we'll be back soon, guys.
What? Alright, so this is basically we took a little commercial break and everything like that. Again, this is Megan and Dave,
I
Untitled Podcast. So we're back and we're ready to go with hour two. Um, Eventually,
which
as
actually
they
is hour
say,
two. We're like 57 minutes in, so we actually timed it alright.
so this put 10 minutes in hour two, as Dave said. We did hype up the show. We're gonna have a special guest here. Dave and I know him well, and obviously, if you were listening to our shows prior toward this one, I did mention something about our e-betting career a little bit here. Um, the, I don't want to sound sappy or anything, but our guest is one of those type of guests that never gave up in Dave and I. Uh, Fortunately, we still keep in contact. We still chill, talk, shoot the shit, whatever, whatever. And as it's a strong connection like Dave and I have. I can talk to this person about anything, just express things, how I'm feeling, anything. And as I say, he never gave up. So obviously he supported me and I'm supporting him in his couple projects too. I want to bring on Dave and I, longtime friend Jeremy, or an e-fighting career, as you guys know, Madman Zelensky and Ariel Shadows and other people. So finally, Jeremy, you're on our show.
You guys ever been so high that you put your hot pocket in the microwave and entered your PIN number?
That's the kind of thing you should expect from us, from this guys, folks. So if you're upset by that, leave now. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yes.
think anyone's going to be offended because, that you and I, Dave, we've known Jeremy for 5 years now. Yeah, 5 years. Am I correct?
Something like that.
5.
Yeah, 5 years now. And
I had
it's
to
that
count.
dull moment. I mean, all of us, with plus Pedro, who ran Girl Power Wrestling, and I think the UK Fed,
Yep.
as well as handling other characters.
Yes.
I don't know who he handles. I apologize. We would all be on Skype for like 4 hours, and we would just talk about anything, whether it was games, what's going on, even what we had to do. It's never really a dull moment between us four.
Were you there when I had the heart attack? You weren't there. I had a
Me or
heart
Dave.
attack yelling at Pedro over Skype.
I don't remember.
100% legit. Fucking Flex, Chris, and Vaughn they were there when this happened. I was yelling at Pedro so hard that one of the ventricles in my heart just decided to seize up, and I just out on the call started snoring.
Oh wow.
Like you said, never a dull moment. You don't know what's going to happen. We might be cracking jokes. Somebody might die on air. You don't know.
Oh my. Or the time where we're gonna shoot someone on air too.
Yeah, that was a real thing. That really happened. Here's another one. This was before I met you two. This is about 2013 when I was with E-Fed Gorillas. They did weekly shows. They had a team of people. That way, if a couple of hosts couldn't make it, the others could pick up slack. So no matter what, every week you had a couple of guys who had run sheets for the show. They knew what they were talking about. It was well put together, etc. One of my first nights with them, this was a tryout for me to be with them permanently. Mm-hmm. I forgot to mute my mic during the show. I sold a bag of weed live on air.
Oh my god! Yeah, I remember that story too.
Yeah, Tom Ford. If anyone knows Tom Ford or Ernie, Gringo Loco, either of them can tell you all about that. That really happened.
Honestly, I sometimes still talk with Tom Ford sometimes, but it's not like, oh, hey, what's up? I just say hi, how you doing, and everything. I haven't spoken to Ernie in 4 years.
Hey, just hit Tom Ford up. If you have his Twitter handle, tweet him, tag me in it, and go, hey, did he really sell a bag of weed live on radio? See what Tom says. Just see what Tom says. Oh, my God.
That's crazy. Obviously, you're going to hear some crazy stories. We can go as long as we can go on YouTube with our crazy stories and everything like that. And like I said, this is a goddamn son reunion. But,
goddamn son.
I said it. Dave, me, you, and Dave's room, And Facebook is called Goddamn Some Reunion.
And that's another one of those things. I don't even know where it came from. It was just one day I was cussing at some. I don't know. This may come as a surprise to some people, but I apparently have a problem with getting wound up easily. And one day I was just motherfucking somebody, and I just came out of my mouth. I was like, "God damn, son," and it stuck. I just kept using it, and it blew up. And so, not just in e-fetting, people that I know in real life, you'll watch somebody and they'll drop something, but oh, goddamn, son. I got everyone I know saying it. It was just picked up, and it was one of them things you just had to pick up the ball and you just had to run it in the end zone.
I mean, there was at one point where I don't know what exactly happened with I think it was back in 2014 with when LFB turned heel. You did a funny video saying goddamn son, and it said Jay Justice.
Oh fuck. So I was just breaking out into curse words. It's a joke. You take someone's name, that you shouldn't be mentioning, and you're just like, man, cock shit, fuck ass, fuck shit, fuck Paul Manafort. That's how the joke works. Just pick a name. It's it's got to be one of those people that you really wouldn't know who they were if you didn't absolutely have to.
When I curse, and Dave comes out, I say Trevor Plouffe because I'm not a big Trevor Plouffe fan. He was on the Minnesota Twins, and when I get mad, I say that, and I go, fucking Trevor Plouffe. I still say it to this day.
Yeah, and I use fuck like it's a comma. So, curse words are adjectives to me. They're like salt and pepper on a fine steak.
Right.
But without them, I wouldn't be me. I don't know if I could be me without cursing. Right. And this was like when I was learning about cutting promos, a long time ago, where someone had said, look, man, I can tell you, man, I'm going to kick your butt. And you're going to be like, hey, yeah, whatever. Or I'm going to be like, man, I'm going to beat your ass. Mm-hmm. And that's going to sound serious. But he said, you really don't need either if you think about it. There's plenty of ways to say it. Like you could say, you know what? You talk too much. I'm going to bite your tongue out. Oh, shit. Here, take my wallet. Mm-hmm. You want my firstborn child? But I guess there's ways to do it without cursing, but sorry, it's just part of who I am. I try not to do it around people who explicitly say don't curse, but I listened to a few minutes of the show before I came on, and clearly we're TVMA.
Basically, yeah, it's basically we don't give a fuck.
Right. We don't give a fuck shit, damn Hillary Clinton.
Hell, it's like even me, it's like I know you like say what's it called? You say stuff instead of swears. For me, it's I don't say anybody to cover up swears, but anytime someone else swears, like in like a public place or anything like that, or even at work, I usually just respond by saying, "Hey, what's your fucking language, will you?" So.
This is here. You want to hear the surreal? I used to be on a Sunday school board in a church. There was one time where they're like, "Hey, we need you to fill in to teach this Sunday night lesson." You know who the fuck you're talking to?
Actually, no. I'll tell you. Actually, for me,
a half without saying one curse word. Do you know that might be one of the most difficult things in my life I've ever fucking done?
I know. For me, it was just I just remember what I was like. Before I was a teenager or something like that, I tried so hard not to swear at all. That I even remember one time when I was younger, I was watching The Simpsons, and it was like that. It was one of the episodes where it's like one of the gags was he kept getting hit in the groin with a football or something like that, and they said that, and I was like, I didn't know. I thought that groin was a swear word. So I actually asked, "Is you know groins are swear words?" And I remember someone responded to me. It was like, "Oh my god, you didn't say that!" I was so naive back then, but I was like, I was trying to be so careful not to swear. Now, I'm basically I swear like a sailor. So.
I mean, I say when I'm with friends and everything like that, but as a customer service agent and with the customers pissing you off at the time, you got to be careful with some of these customers. Like there's some times where they start cursing. As a matter of fact, last week I had a older gentleman cursing at his mailman, and I'm like, "Whoa, don't use that type of language here." But then again, I'm like, "Why am I saying that? I'm bad as this guy."
Yeah, and I think cursing is one of those things. It's like everything else in life, you have to take it in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
Since I curse every other word, people just look at me like I'm nuts. It doesn't mean anything. Like if I'm cursing you out, it doesn't mean anything because you're like that. That's what he does because it's Tuesday and it's 9 a.m. and it's raining. But it's those things like you say, customer service. But if you want to talk customer service experience, that will be a 4-hour show.
Yeah.
But I digress. It is that, you have that time period where you don't curse, where everything is toned down. And then when you get that unwind, it means that much more.
Mm-hmm.
It's with anything, that's why if you do something all the time, it doesn't mean anything. If you reserve it, the less that you do it, the more it means something. Remember the first time Bret Hart cursed on WWF TV? Where Vince McMahon's interviewing him after he lost a match. You must be frustrated. And Bret pushed him and said, frustrated isn't the goddamn word for it. This is bullshit.
Oh, okay.
The tape's it's on YouTube. It's a tape. It's half taken down. It was a work. It was all a work. But dang, if it wasn't well crafted, it was the fact that up until that point, you'd never heard more than 3 curse words in the entire time we watched when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely.
And that was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Then in comes Steve Austin, who's just like, I'm gonna whoop his ass, goddamn, na drink beer. And it was a shock value. You're like, whoa, we've never seen this. But when you fast forward a few years now, and that's one thing I have to say, if there's anything I like about taking things back to PG, it is that it does open the door that one day there can be an Attitude Era type resurgence where the product shifts more into an adult-oriented product because the shock value will be there. Because now you have a generation that did not experience what we experienced. The shock value of going from being told to eat vitamins and say prayers to drink beer and get hose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now we're going back into take vitamins, train at the Performance Center in Florida. I'm waiting until it comes back to fuck that. Let's go back to popping somas and pissing in someone's gym bag.
Ah!
That's the thing, though. It's at first we were saying that the shock value is the way we said the Bret Hart thing, where you said it once and everyone's all shocked. But if it becomes normal, the shock of it wears off. So it's kind of like with wrestling today, where it's like, you're doing so much, like the flippy shit thing, basically. Everyone's like, oh, you're doing like a somersault or a shooting star and all like that. You do that every once in a while, and it's like, wow, that's definitely impressive. You do it every week, and it's like, great, that's good. What more can you do? So it pushes you more and pushes you more and pushes you more to a point where you go way too far.
And it's back to too much product, too much overexposure of product. Guys, there was a time, and I forget who it was I was talking about this. It was the business model used to be that if you and I are working a match, the whole purpose of working working a match is to get people to come buy a ticket to the next match. If we're on television, the only reason our match is on television is for people to buy tickets to the next live show. Television was meant to sell the live product, meaning, it was all about those individual show-to-show basis, and that stuff meant more for big shows. We reserved it. When you get on television, it's like, okay, now we're going to reserve the big moves for big TV, and the big TV show that's on NBC. Then it branches into, you should save the big moves for the $50 pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. Now it doesn't matter because there's like 6 different programs you can watch. There's almost a different episode of new wrestling aired every day. You went from having 2 hours of programming a week to 10 to 12. So everyone, and that's keeping in mind There, you've got guys working. There's so many guys working a brawler style. So many guys working a mat wrestling style. So many guys working a showman style. So many guys working a high flying style, a martial arts style. When you've got such a heavy roster, it's impossible to have everyone work a unique style. Therefore, it's inevitable. If you're watching 12 hours of TV a week, you're going to see the same match for some different guys. Hence, that's why guys are doing insane shit to try and get over.
Right.
It's overexposure of the product. You have to scale back, but it's impossible to scale back at this point because they've already jumped the gun. The network. We've got your $9.99 a month. You were talking about WrestleMania earlier, and with Kofi. And you know what? It doesn't matter what they do because they got your $9.99 at the beginning of the month. And those casual fans that only buy one show a year, they're not paying attention to the build-up. They're buying the show anyway, probably because Ronda Rousey's on it. And they're going to pay their $60 no matter what. So they have no incentive to put on a good product. Because even if you don't like that product and you're like me and you're like, man, I just want to watch the old shit. They own those tapes too, and they still get my $9.99.
Yeah, I honestly, they say you pay $9.99, but because of PA sales tax, I only pay $10.59.
Yeah, and I don't count sales tax into anything because I don't live in New Hampshire, so everything is taxed.
Oh, jeez. That's the only thing I don't like. They take tax out of your paycheck, tax out of your account, tax out of this, tax out of that. It's just crazy.
And I understand the concept of tax. It makes sense. Government needs money to run so it can do shit for us. Okay, here's a little bit of my money. So what are you doing with that money? Crickets.
I don't know.
We should get into a more lighter topic because if we want to go on that
there's too much political stuff out there anyway, so let's just not go there.
No. Oh, speaking of political stuff.
So let's not go there.
And she's like, hey, let's dig this hole deeper.
This is a perfect example of the two of us right now. Because for me, it's like always off the air. It's always, especially with Finn. Oh my god, especially with Finn. I'm always saying, calm down. Don't be like this. Try to be calm. Try to be, don't worry about it too much. And it's like, if just the cliff over there, don't worry about it. You don't even have to look over the other side. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And here she comes, just jumps right off. Like doesn't care what I say. It might as well be, I could describe the whole Bible and all that and give you a whole autobiography of somebody who did everything right, and I could tell you just follow everything you did there and you have you'll live to be 150 and all that, and there she is. It's like, ooh, an alligator, what if I put my head in here?
Oh god.
Simple as that.
That was me, like, oh hey,
the amount of times where I've basically just tried to explain, you know what, like, I don't want to talk about this right now. It's okay. Like, we can talk about it another time, but at the moment, I just want to relax. 2 minutes later, have you heard about this? Have you heard about this? Let's talk about this. True story.
No, because Jeremy, who mentioned political?
We were just about to go into taxes and all that, and I said, let's hold off there, and you said, actually, speaking about this. Nope.
Speaking about that? No. All right, no, never mind.
Enough weed for this conversation.
Speaking of illegal drugs, no.
No.
Well, illegal in some places.
Well, Pennsylvania's not legal yet. All right, so
that's the only reason that I'm even attempting to live is I'm waiting for the day where somebody wakes up and goes, "This is stupid." All right, Marlboro, go ahead and sell them in a pack.
Oh, geez.
In a way, I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. It's like it would be basic marketing saying, it's like, wow, there's how many people that want it? They're willing to pay how much for it? Shit, son, we'd be able to make some money off this.
What math is even though you have 1 million people wishing to give $10, and that's $10 million, you've got 10 people in the pharmaceutical industry, each lobbying with $1 billion apiece, saying no. And you can't compete with that kind of money.
That's politics for you.
Exactly, and that's why I don't really like discussing them. I mean, I like discussing the nature of politics and the nature of just how people react to things, but it's one of those ignorance is bliss and knowledge is depression. The more you know, the sadder you get.
That is true. All right. Speaking of, going off topic here. Uh, one of the wait, off topic. I don't know. Topics that are not taxes. Let's put it that way. Okay. So Jeremy, you came out of retirement recently. Am I correct?
Yes, I'm sure you'd want to know the story about that. Hold on,
Yes.
I'm
So
tweeting.
what's
Let me
tea?
tweet this link out right quick. Hold on, Twitter machine. Yeah, step number one, kids, never ever turn off the marketing machine. If you're awake and you're conscious, you are selling your product or service. Whatever it is you're trying to do, if you're awake and conscious, you can sell it.
So
Speaking of which, I'm basically just going through the YouTube app right now because I'm trying to get the right link because I think I sent you the wrong one. Okay.
No, the link that I'm sharing on mine is correct, and I know that because I was listening to it live to confirm.
Yeah, I know. I just know they had some technical issues because, of course, if you're doing anything live and all that, there's always gonna be technical issues. So I sent the link to what was the first attempt at this, but that link only links to like 60 seconds. So I had to get a new one. I sent Megan the wrong one. But at least I know that someone was listening to it and somebody's got the right link and is sharing it, which we appreciate, by the way.
Yes, and that's it comes back to that. I had a couple of marketing classes in college, and for some reason, I really liked the idea of advertising and marketing, and just the art of getting people to give you their souls for a piece of worthless, matter. But that's why I always keep things like it's like, all right, I have a run sheet ready to go. Like I always have a run sheet. Like right now, I have a list of things that I wanted to make sure I talked about before I got off of this call. I always try to keep in the back of my mind, sell this, sell this, sell this. Don't say that, say that. I just try to keep a business mind at everything I do. I treat everything like I'm cutting a promo. Like I legitimately am a wrestler right now, and that I legitimately work for the two feds that I will be promoting within the next few minutes.
okay, so here's the thing. This little disclaimer here. I did mention that this would be the only show I would do to break my silence around why I retired. Jeremy, is this the only show you're going to do on why you retired? So why you unretired?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not going to come up anywhere else. And if anyone tries to ask me about it, I'd probably just deflect and tell them to follow the_micro_man on Twitter for all of your 16-bit micro heroes needs. I will never charge a dime. However, I do accept donations via GoFundMe. The link is available on my Twitter page. Marketing 101.
Hashtag shameless plug.
Exactly. It's got to be something in the mind. But
hell, if it was up to me, I've got like 20 different things I could advertise. So if I could, I'd do it. But it's like there's 20 different things. That's oversaturation. So
don't advertise 20 different things.
There you go.
Specific thing or two. Get your specific things and get those right. Like they tell you in wrestling, you talk about the flippy spots. You're not learning those 6 months into the business. You're spending 3 months learning how to properly work a wrist lock and a headlock. The simplest of things. You're spending the first few weeks learning how to run the ropes. I didn't take a back bump for a month into training. And the first bump I ever took was a flat back. No one touched me. I took my own bump. You work your way up. Just start simple and work your way up. Which one of us would like to begin on who wants to begin their story?
By the way, I just to disclose, I don't literally have 20 things advertised. That was kind of an over-exaggeration, but I do have a good few things. So, there you go.
Okay.
All right. Okay. But, hey, if you just let me know, man, like, shoot me links to stuff, and I'll help you out. I have no problem being a shameless marketing whore.
It's mostly just fan sites and, a Twitch stream. That's it. So...
Well, hey, everything, there's a market for everything. Trust me, someone is going to be interested in it. I say that to anybody. If you think no one's going to be interested in what you're doing, you might, someone somewhere will be interested.
Well, actually, a good starting point would be is like you've got a thing that you think you're gonna sell. You're interested in it, right? You have to be, otherwise you wouldn't be selling it.
Yeah, and there's like 7 billion people on this planet. Somebody else on the planet has that need.
All right.
So he knows what he's talking about.
Jeremy, you're pretty good with marketing. Let's see. So who goes first?
I'll go ahead and get started because I know that your story, I can segue to yours.
Okay.
I already know yours, spoiler alert. But I know that I can segue into yours. So okay. I know that, we're mentioning e-fedding, and I know that you have an audience outside of the e-fed community. A few of them may not exactly know what what e-fedding is. And to be quite honest with you, I can't explain it. I've tried to explain it to my girlfriends, my ex-wife. I couldn't tell her. I had to have my fed head do it. I can't explain what e-fedding is. All I can tell you is you have to experience it for yourself. If you're a fan of wrestling, if you just enjoy creativity, if you enjoy trying to immerse yourself into the environment, then e-fedding is the place you need to be. And one of the three of us on this call can probably assist you with that. So yes, it's, e-fedding. It's essentially, it's a mixture form of, it's a hybrid of creative writing, of role playing, of just raw marketing, and, wrestling, of course. It is, you basically become, the character. You're not just the little wrestler you created in No Mercy. You literally live the life of this person. And, of course, you can imagine, this can go 20 different ways. Long story short, I left. I did everything that I possibly could to ensure I would not come back to this game. I had played it for I played it for almost 20 years at that point. It was 19 years. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just cannot do it. I lost my love for wrestling. And
right.
I no longer like wrestling. I no longer watch the modern product. I don't follow it. I don't know half the fucking people you're using for pick bases. I don't know half the people you're fucking talking about. I knew it was bad when I saw the Shield, and I called them Tyler Black and John Moxley.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I knew I was old. But long story short, I thought I was leaving, and the one thing about playing fake wrestlers is you do get to make some real friends. Case in point, I'm talking to two of them. Another one of them, we mentioned earlier, Pedro. Pedro gets a hold of me and says, dude, somebody quit like a week before a really, really big match. And I know you, I've known you for years, and I've been begging you to do this for months, and you keep telling me no. And I was like, all right, fine. Just this once. That once turned into me joining two different places. It turned into me learning how to create micros. It's basically delved into me now. I'm devoting 18 hours a day into this, into micros and sprites. Like I'm getting up at 8 a.m. and I'm not going to bed until 4 a.m. And I'm not just sitting here, liking and retweeting shit all the time. I'm putting in work because I found something that I enjoy doing. I love the creative writing, but again, just the micros is where my heart is. But long story short, I found I was playing a game where I liked being a fake wrestler, and I got to meet real friends. That's the only reason I want to be in this game is I want to be a fake wrestler and I want to meet real friends. And I found a place called Online Championship Wrestling. You can find them at onlinechampionshiprewrestling.com. Cheap plug number 2. And I found exactly what I was looking for. They let me be who I wanted to be. They gave, it was everyone there was open. Everyone there was cool. You didn't hear the little, you didn't feel like there were little whispers and, like, oh shit, they're DMing behind my back. None of that. Like, you walked in and everybody was like, hey, they acted like they already knew who you were. Some of them did know who I was, but it didn't make a difference. I was just the same as everyone else, which is exactly what I wanted. So I wound up staying into it, and I wound up getting a little bit of I got some confidence back that maybe everyone is not just, maybe things don't bring out the negative in human beings anymore. Because the problem is when you're playing a fake wrestler and you're putting so much into being that person, honestly, sometimes you forget that person is fake, and you blend in. Real life and fantasy blend. They blend in such a way that we don't even know ourselves half the time if we're working or shooting. Like that's just, and that's how serious it gets. And that was what made me leave in the first place. I'm coming into a thing now where I'm finding where I'm finally having fun with it again, and I found my niche. And I know I swore to you and everyone I'd never do this shit again, but here I am, and I don't think I'm going anywhere. Like, as long as there's somebody left that wants a micro done for them, I'm not going anywhere. And like I said, onlinechampionshipwrestling.com, OCW. If you don't know anything about e-fetting, you want to get into e-fetting, come talk to us. Just make a forum account, just post up and say, hey, I just want to see what this is all about. And I promise you, you couldn't be in better hands.
I mean, I checked OCW when you mentioned it to me a couple of weeks ago, because I was just looking around, and obviously the owner there knows what he's doing. Obviously, the first thing that kind of made me pop out was the main page. I'm like, okay, he has this thing. Everything is so easy to navigate. And I'm like, should I join this or no? That's what I was a little bit on the fence about, because I did mention my schedule has become very hectic as of late.
Yeah, and it's something else that we understand too. It's like, you know what? Most people that play this game have jobs. The stereotype might be that we're just a bunch of nerds and, with no jobs in our parents' basement. It's not true. Matter of fact, I'm probably just about one of the only e-fetters that doesn't have a job. Doing micros is that's what I do. That is my gig. I don't get paid for it. I will never charge anybody a cent to do something for them. If you want it done for you, you'll get it for free. If I decide to do it for you as a surprise, I'm not expecting anything for it. But I got to stop going on tangents when I'm stoned, because I went back into my shill thing and it just, lost me. But back to OCW.
Hey, you've got the platform to do it, so go with it.
Go.
Well, I want to, it's your platform. I'm just a guest. It's your home.
Yeah, we're letting you on the platform, so it's like, we haven't told you to stop yet, so go on ahead.
Well, I still, it's also a thing of no one wants to hear you ramble constantly about the same thing for 5 minutes, especially me. I always make the joke to people when they're like, hey, if you want to call in, I was like, I would call in, but you'd lose half your viewers in 5 seconds.
OCW. Believe me, I would go in attendance too long if I didn't have any kind of restraint. If you got me talking about something, I probably won't shut up for 20 minutes. So I've got a little bit of strain on me here.
That's me too. Like, my friends will call the time, shut the fuck up and hit the bowl. Like, but OCW with Will, he's been doing this for a long time. This Fed's been open for a while. They have a good base. You've got a base of people that aren't going anywhere. They're welcome. You have a lot of people that come in and check us out. We're running a tournament right now. You know how open tournaments will always work. Some people will stay, some people won't. And we have the core going. We're welcome to new people, even though it looks good. And you can tell he puts in work. We don't take ourselves too serious. At the end of the day, you can read it and be like, wow. You'll get into it. But when you click off of it, you're smiling because at the end of the day, it was a game. We don't take ourselves too seriously, but we're not jokes about it. We do present a product that, some people don't like to tell jokes. Some people want to write a serious story. We have a place for you. You will get to tell that story, and it will look good. It will be the gripping story you want it to be, because when you run a promotion. This is in real wrestling as well. You're Quicksilver. You're a mirror. You You shouldn't be forcing your workers to do what you want. You should be holding up a mirror, and whatever they want to do, you should be enhancing what they want to do. That's what Will does. That's what OCW's Will does. That's why I'm suggesting him both for longtime veterans of e-fetting and for people who have no clue what the fuck we're talking about. One more time. Let me get that URL one more time, just in case no one caught it the first time. I'll even do it in the voice of Bill Clinton. That's OCW, OnlineChampionshipWrestling.com, baby.
That's the best impersonation of Bill Clinton.
You're blowing smoke up my ass. That was one of my more horrible ones. I've been like, I'm chain smoking cigarettes. I'm like, it's bad. I'm like Ernest toward the end when he filmed fucking the goddamn Three Ninja sequel. I knew my time, and I was ready.
He was ready. Ready.
But and again, as it's me coming back in, and I know that you are finally breaking the ice, and you want to discuss things about the reason that you quit, which I think you and I quit for very similar reasons, although I know the situations were definitely different. There are a lot of different details, but I think it both boiled down to the same reason that you and I both walked away, which is people are fucking dicks.
Exactly. So that's why one of the reasons why I walked away. Now, as I say, this is the only time I'm going to break my silence on this. This is only one time. I know I don't have the Megan E-Fed project anymore, and everything like that as well. But I can't hand like, oh hey, everyone's going to be an asshole and everything like that. All right, so obviously we all know what happened back 4 years ago, and I mentioned the Jeremy Neck that too. I don't want to get into detail. That's a story for a different day. But here's the thing. The reason why I retired is not because people are dicks, but some of them could be dickheads. Work was picking up, and obviously I wanted to leave on my own terms. Now, what I mean by own terms is when UTA, United Toughest Alliance, which is Ben's E-Fed.
Yes, Ben Holcomb, who, by the way, he has broken the ice and he has broken out into the real world. If you ever hear of someone called Big Dick Fury working a wrestling show near you, then you've met, yes, God, I hate shooting like that, but I'm just saying, he came up in our world, and now he's venturing out into, he's taken what he's learned throughout the years with e-fetting, and he's using it for something.
I am so proud
to try to get into wrestling for real.
I've never been so proud of him in my entire life. I'm happy. I'm very, very happy he's doing it.
Just gonna butt in for a quick second. Just not listen to the chat. I'll just respond. Zilla, we see you. I see you in there.
Hey, Zilla! Hey!
Yeah, we see you there. Thanks, somebody.
Hey!
Go ahead.
Hi, Zilla. But obviously Zilla is a tremendous person too. I'll put him over too when I get to it. But here's the thing.
Oh my God! Yes, heart. Like I hearted him in the chat as soon as I saw. I was like, just bump.
Zilla, we love you. We will.
Yes, there will always be a place in my heart for.
Actually, I'm just gonna try to say it. Plug him. I think he's still doing the artwork and might actually have an album as well. So check out his stuff. Because I'm actually in his. He actually has Discord server that I should say more stuff in there, but he does do his own thing. So watch out for him as well. So we're all helping everybody else out here. So
yeah, we got love for Zilla. We got love for Ben and everything. But I love having you guys. But here's the thing. Okay,
yes, you gotta check Z-Manzilla. Art is a verb. cdbaby.com and search him up. You'll find his album. That's called marketing on the fly. I just remembered that I had seen that about 15 minutes ago, and I was like, always have that business-oriented mind. You always got to keep in mind. I'm like, whatever, I'm like, that's why I always keep the Twitter machine. When I tell you, hey, you doing a show? Yeah, why? Send me the tweet so I can tweet it back. Zilla did Zilla did Dick Fury's entrance theme. I was so
shit.
excited. I just tripped over my own words like bad.
Oh shit.
And I got to hear it actually. Ben let me preview it, and yeah, I'm telling you, it's good stuff. When it hits, people are gonna get a reaction.
Wow. Well, I'm proud of Zai. I feel like crying here. I'm actually choking up too, because you guys have been my friends for so long, and I don't say this enough, but Jeremy, Zilla, Ben, Chris Ross, who terrorizes my poor cat, Dusty, Mike Bell, obviously Dave, and whoever I'm missing. We're motherfucking family, and obviously you guys have a place in my heart. You guys mean something to me big time. But but back to on what I was trying, Jeremy and I, we both had the same thing in common, that people are going to be rude people. Another thing was obviously the work thing, which was true. And I remember, okay, so originally, if I didn't lose my job for the first time around, I would have left e-fetting obviously with GPW, but because of reasons that I still understand to this day, I still let it go. I understand why you did it, Jeremy. I understand why it happened.
Yeah, and it's business decisions. I don't even have to explain details about anything to explain. It was basically, it was one of those where it wasn't that you had not done anything wrong, but it was in the interest of a business decision, we had to let you go.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty much, we had to do, businesses do it all the time. It's an unfortunate thing you have to do, as a problem with business. As we say, you have to break some eggs to make an omelet. There's been times where I've been like, hey, we need to have a shift. From now on, we have to do things this way. And you're always going to have 2 or 3 people that aren't going to want to change. And you'll eventually wind up losing those people. Or you're going to have people who can't change. And you're going to say, listen, I wish I could do whatever I could to get you to stay with me. But I understand this is the direction we're moving. And I know that's not the direction that you want to move. So, there's things of that nature. And it boiled down to like what happened with you. And that probably, again, one of the things where you have to sit and go, wow, this is this is the way people have to be over this. Not because we wanted to do it, but because a majority, enough people said something to us that we had to do it. That's how things work in this game. Like, it doesn't matter if you say something wrong. If you have 10 people to back you up and I only have 2, does that make you right automatically? And then you factor in, because despite the fact that people are dicks, you can always block them, avoid them, go play in another playground somewhere that doesn't have dicks in it. There's plenty of playgrounds. But when you have the work and it gets to a point where it's something of like, you're working 40 hours a week. You're waking up, fucking, the sun ain't been up for 10 fucking minutes and I got it in my fucking face. Now I got to get up, take a shower. I got to eat something so I don't pass out. So I can go to work for 9 hours, 8 hours, lunch break, 9 hours. It's going to take me an hour or so each way to get home. That means by the time it's all said and done, I'm not getting the fuck home. And I've got like 2 hours, 3 hours tops before I got to go to bed and wake up the next day and do it all over again.
Right.
Which means I have 14 hours a week. 14 hours a week free time. How many hours of programming did I say WWE's releasing per week now on average? About 10?
Mm-hmm.
If you're a wrestling fan, you don't have time for this shit if it's not fun. You don't have time for this shit if all it is people making snide comments and people throwing shade and people, just making the jokes that shouldn't be made and people taking it too far and home addresses getting posted and shit.
Oh! Wow.
Listen, I back up this home address is being posted because it was part of someone's sex offender registry. So I fully appreciate that.
I don't like sex.
That anything involved, I personally believe that no sex offender should ever have access to the internet. At least any sex offender that has definitely been convicted of that heinous of a crime. Anyways, we digress. But it's the whole point of just, you didn't have time for this shit. You have to have a life. And there's no sense in wasting your life on something that's not going to give you anything back. You don't get the enjoyment of playing a fake character because they sap that. And you don't get the real friends because they're not real friends.
I mean,
and you just don't have the time for this shit anymore.
Honestly, I didn't fuss about it. You and I had a heart-to-heart. And you were mad. I understand. I was mad at myself. I felt like I let everyone down. I let myself down. And obviously, I think it was you that told me to get your shit together or something like that.
Well, it's not even so much that we were mad. It was just that, all right. And I'm just trying to think of a best way to work this that I possibly can. Got you. Used to work at a job, allowed me to take a smoke break every hour and a half. They didn't care. As long as my work was done and we didn't have customers, they let me go out and have a 5-minute smoke, as long as it wasn't like every 20 minutes. Like I go out every hour and a half, 2 hours or whatever. I get a new job. This job says we'll give you 2 5-minute breaks a day, but you are not allowed to smoke during either of them. You can't be wearing your work uniform when you smoke, and you cannot be smoking anywhere near the store. And you're not allowed to leave the store on your breaks. And what the fuck? I'm going to go outside and smoke because you cannot legally fucking stop me from doing that if I so choose. I will take my work uniform off and I will walk to the adjacent store next to us that I know I'm allowed to stand by it while I'm on break because I haven't left the building. And I'm not within 50 foot of the store's premises. That's what I liken it to. You were used to doing things a certain way. When you came in, we had to change it up suddenly, and we had to do things a different way. And you were unable to adapt to that new way. And it is no fault of yours. And it is, again, not even a way that we really wanted to adapt to. If it had been up to me, I'd have let everyone do whatever the hell they wanted. We'd have had like 3 rules, and they'd have been the most simple rules of all time. Like, it'd be basically, don't talk shit, don't post shit, don't pull shit. You follow those 3 rules, you can do whatever the fuck you want in my building.
Just a little disclaimer. Everything that is being brought up on this show tonight, do not talk about it anymore. It dies tonight. Jeremy's here to clear it up. If you still hate me over dumb shit, that's your problem. We're all adults here. I'm hitting 30 in a year. I'm not the best person out there. I'm not the best fighter out there. I'm still a damn human being. But if you still have this personal vendetta with me right now, drop it. As I'm saying, everything on this show that's been going on for these amount of years dies tonight. And as I said, this is the only this is the only platform I'm going to be discussing this on. And what Jeremy did, along with Pedro, they had to do what they had to do.
Yeah, it's a deal of when you have all right. It wasn't just like a handful of like a dozen people who were just getting together writing some stories. We had like 40 some people writing for us at this point. It was an issue of where we had, and when it was discovered and they were like, well, shit, they pointed out why they thought it wasn't fair, to which I was responding with, well, fuck, that's not happening, but okay. It's not going to happen now that I'm aware of it, but okay. Because now that I know what the problem is, I can fucking stop it. It's easy. Just don't book the issue, and the issue won't happen. So, yeah, it was what we had to do, and it wasn't even so much that. It was people's reactions. It's not so much the events themselves, it is people's reactions. Like there's a big war right now over, with role-playing. There's one of 2 ways to portray your character. One, you draw the character yourself, / have somebody who knows how to draw, like Z-Manzilla, or myself, the _micro_man on Twitter. Cheap plug number 4. Every time I do a cheap plug, take a shot.
Okay.
Don't do that. Don't do that. If you do that, you may die.
Yeah. I might. Yeah, I am not responsible for what happens to your liver. Like, this show will be the worst thing to happen to a human liver since Boss Rutan.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, good one.
No Boss Rutan fans in here? Jesus Christ.
Right here. I get it. That's why I say good one. I get it.
You either have two choices. Either you can draw your character, or you can just pick a picture of your favorite celebrity and they'll be your character. Pretty simple, right? I mean, both of you agree that's pretty simple?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hello?
Right
I'm here.
We're here.
What's poppin'?
Technical issues here that we have? Oh, okay. We got some technical issues here. Hold on.
You just looked at me.
Okay. I think he must have a disconnect. He's no longer in the call. We're getting back in.
Let's get him back in. Damn, when you get passionate about shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe Skype doesn't like Boss Rutan. I don't know.
Fucking Skype.
Yeah. It must have thought something was wrong because like he was talking and he was like hello, but he didn't hear us. So here we go. Okay, I think we got him back.
What the hell happened?
Whoa!
I don't know, but I'm about to cut a promo on Skype. Like, I said, this is why I'm done with this fucking program. This is why I use fucking Discord now.
Oh yeah, we should actually do that.
Fuck around. Think I'm fucking joking. Like, seriously.
Actually, that is something we should consider to go on the Discord next.
Yeah. How's Xbox Live saving your ass, Bill Gates?
Bullshit.
Yeah, and that was hard. I apologize. That was too much.
Fuck this. I'm sorry. Fuck Microsoft. Anyways.
Actually, no.
I'm playing on Xbox One right here, so don't get too bad about it.
I just looked over and saw the Windows 10 logo in the corner, and I said, I apologize. Windows is great. Bill Gates has a gigantic penis.
But yeah. So, talking from a business standpoint, that's why Jeremy did it. So the best part is when
it's reactions. It wasn't so much that I had to do it because what I wanted to do, and that's again a thing of we're playing a game. How many times do you ever play a video game and you have to play the video game the way that somebody else sitting in the other room tells you?
None.
Okay. Now imagine if you're the guy programming the game. That was my position in that situation. I was the DM. Equivalent. Let's say use D&D terms. You D&D players. I was the DM as part of running the Fed, and I couldn't make a decision as a DM on what to do with a player. The other players made that decision and came to me and forced my hand.
Plus, I think it's the selfish side of me that says, "Oh, hey, I want to help this place out. I want to put the W back in wrestling, and I just want people to be serious characters. You know what I'm saying? So we can be the best place around."
Yeah, and it was just putting in the work, and I was trying to make the point that I'm like, Jesus Christ, if she's putting in this kind of work, like, dude, I'll hire her on his fucking staff if you're going to fire her from roster. Like, I want someone with this work ethic. We need this in this motherfucker. People like this are what keeps this place going. Not your fucking world champion who hasn't wrote a single segment the whole year she's held the belt. She's been on our show 3 times to defend the belt. She's openly talking about, oh yeah, that's just a little place on the side. This is where my main place is. They're direct competition. So she openly pulled that shit. And you know what? That's why that Fed was supposed to have died. Because we had a world champ who openly buried our Fed while carrying our world championship. Do you know what I was forced to do along with Pedro?
What?
Fuck, we'll build the fucking Fed without her. And
Who was it?
And it required required a fucking strong card, and it needed on the position of outsiders. They have to look at it like you have a world champion. Your main event picture looks like shit because your main event picture never shows up. But Jesus Christ, your undercard is fucking white hot. Because I got people like you two putting in the fucking work, making shit that's even got me liking shit on Twitter. And in 2014, it was very hard to get me to acknowledge people on Twitter. I showed up, shit posted, and left.
Okay, so here's the thing. Another reason why I left is I think people were getting a little bit too snowflakey about what the stuff I was pulling. Now, mind you, Jeremy, I'm from an E-Fed called Underground Championship Wrestling. I was talking about it on EW Mania in my segment of how I got into E-Fed. And with UCW, being my home fed, I was used to playing 11 characters. They all had different things. I was producing my own storylines. I had people saying this and that. We did a Owen Hart versus Bret Hart scenario where I would win over my kayfabe sibling.
And there's a real wrestler fed.
What?
I've never played in one of those, and I can understand why they exist. It was just not my cup of tea. I'm not going to hate on you. I mean, that's why they make vanilla and chocolate. In the words of R.D. Reynolds.
I'm talking about underground, not unique. Underground.
I don't know. I don't think she said that it was literally Owen Hart versus Bret Hart, but it's a similar scenario to what they did.
I produced that segment. I produced that thing. Thing is, I produced this and that. I produced the controversial segments. I did this. I did that. I did this. I did that. And when you mention that you liked it, Jeremy, it's like, oh wow, someone actually likes their work. But I think with the whole people getting offended, being snowflakey about some of the stuff, that's what kind of pulled me out a little bit, because I was so used to producing the controversial storyline. I was so used to doing this, so used to doing that.
And then out of nowhere, you saw there was this shift. There was a cataclysmic shift where it almost seems like now you just can't tell a regular story anymore. It doesn't draw. No one pays attention to it. The only thing they pay attention to is out-of-character drama. That's the only thing that draws in E-Fedding is out-of-character drama. You cannot fucking draw a fucking E-Fed with in-character shit. It's got to be out of character. Remember how we were talking about the... all right, disclaimer here that I'm about to say. I am not shitting on the Fed that I'm about to speak of. I am not shitting on this Fed.
Neither am I.
Hang on a second. I'm letting people know that it's being talked about.
And I'm not quote unquote shit talking. Maybe brutally honest, but I'm not quote unquote shit talking. Am I right, Dave?
Yeah. And well, I'm going to be 100% real. Like everything I'm about to say is like as real as it can get with that. And this is an example of, like I said, you can't tell a regular story in this hobby anymore. It has to be OOC drama now. So story. Somebody. All right, and I'm paraphrasing a lot here.
Excuse me, Jeremy. Excuse me. Also, put in your marketing that the thing we talked about is officially dead. Let me make a noise. That the coffin is dead. That's dead.
All right, and speaking of putting nails in coffins, that's what I'm trying to do right now as well. Because this was like a huge thing over the last week. And I'm using this to talk about what we've talked about the last few minutes, which is essentially that the game has devolved into something that, for a while didn't seem like we wanted to be a part of anymore. And I'm trying to, when I pull into the modern of why I'm having hope again, that this game might be fun to play again. And I'm enjoying the people I'm playing it with again, even the ones that were talking shit. And I'm not sure if we really hate each other or not. I can't tell if it's real or fake half the time. And I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just have our fun. Anyways, the name of this Fed is on Twitter at LYT Wrestling. Lit Wrestling. Hashtag Get Lit. Pretty unique idea. And I like the idea of it. We're going to break down a lot of the creative writing. We're going to just predetermine the match. matches, the people will just, it's called angle fetting. I'm sure if you ever heard of it, it's where instead of us trying to write and competitively determine who wins, we're just going to determine it beforehand and write a story about it, like they would if it was real wrestling. Well, anyways, this was supposed to take place on an island. It was similar to the Fire Festival, if you will. And what happened with this is a lot of people were starting to give it shit about, oh, it's a Twitter fed. They're not even competitively writing. It's not role playing. They're not even role playing. They're just making Twitter accounts, and they're going to post a Google Doc saying somebody won a match on an island, and it's WrestleBoat and shit like that. And then it started to expand beyond that to when the results were a day or two late, like, we told you this would be a flaming fucking disaster. I fell into the trap. I myself openly admit I got worked. I got played like a fucking fiddle. Told them, and I was talking the same shit. How are you on here talking shit on Twitter about how, oh, well, we did, and no one had a ride back. We took the boats and left all the workers and the crew stranded on the fucking island. The ring collapsed into the Pacific Ocean in the middle, right before the main event. They're running around in the fucking main event while the stage is on fire. All the boats have left. Everyone's stranded on a fucking island in the Bahamas. And the show, when the results were a couple of days late, real life happens. Sometimes it takes a couple of days to write a wrestling show. Surprise. Especially when you're doing it by yourself. And surprise, the show came out. It was well worth the wait. It was a good show. It required virtually no input. Just go on Twitter and go, hey, hashtag get lit. I'm going to go wrestle on a boat. Technically, it's an island, but WrestleBoat is, catchy, so we're going with that. I fell for it. I gave them so much heat. I gave them so much shit. It was all undeserved in the end. It wound up being a really good, really cool little idea, right? And in some ways, I was a victim, and I became the very same thing that made me want to quit and made you want to quit. And then at the flip side, I realized that at the end of the day, they were able to take all that shit. And at the end of the day, whoever it was that ran that shit, and it'd really be cool if whoever ran it would talk to me, because if you do a second one, you can have my gimmick. You can run my character on that. I'm saying it right now. You got it on tape. Everyone heard me say it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it all just, they did an excellent job when it was all said and done. They acknowledged a lot of it, all of the jokes, For all, I don't know if it was the original plan for things to go this way, and if it was, that was the greatest fucking work of all time, and I worship you. Or they took all of the shit and the heat they were getting, and they played it. And they literally played with it. Either way, it was good shit. They worked us all. They got us all worked up. And they got me worked up. I apologized publicly because I ran my mouth hardcore.
Hey, it takes a lot of people to say, I'm sorry. That's a lot of respect I gave you, Jerry. My hat's off there, too. But I honestly, as an outsider looking in, I did read it, and I have to say, that was good. That was some good-ish I've read.
I was gonna say this, and this may actually come off as like being like the old man again and all that, but that is which is now becoming a rare example of someone owning up to their mistake. Like it's like, especially when you see on the internet a good bit, a lot of people are unwilling to let it out that they made a mistake. They think that they're all perfect. They've always been perfect, and if I ever did anything wrong, oh, that never happens. But so you always try to sweep it out in the wrong. It makes a person actually like a man, or a woman, or whatever like that. If you're willing to say, hey, okay, I was shit back then. I may be less shit now, but I know what I did back then was wrong. What I did was, what I said was wrong, or I figured it out. This, it shouldn't have gone this way. So I'm sorry that happened. That kind of thing. That needs to be shown more. There's nothing wrong with saying you're wrong. It makes you more real. It's like, hey, we're human. We're not perfect. So it's good to say, hey, that was me? Okay, fine. That was me. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. So, commend you for that. I wish I could do it more.
I would love to find everyone individually, because Jesus, I've torn into a lot of people since I got back. Some of them it's because it's a lot of it boils down to the same issues of I want to amend for shit I've done, and I want to talk about the shit you've done. Pretty much. It's not because I want to pick a fight. I want to squash it. I don't want to do this fighting. The fighting is great. I love making people think we're really fighting, and then it turns out that we're just having fun. I don't want it to be a real fight. I don't want the promoter of lit wrestling to legitimately think that I have an issue with them. I do not want the handlers of the people that I've tweeted back and forth with to think I have a problem with them. I don't want the people that I worked with in other feds that things went sour like milk left out in the sun for a month.
Ew.
Yeah. I don't want any of that shit. I mean, I like the idea of making people think that it's real, making people think that I really will stab somebody in the neck over this shit. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, it's okay. I know him. He's chill. Trust me. He's cool. He's actually got a pretty good recipe for M&M chocolate chip cookies. You should get it off of it.
Chocolate chip. That sounds good. All right.
Yeah, and that's no joke either. Remind me that later, folks, and I will type that up if that legitimately becomes a thing.
So another thing is, I was so proud of the work I was pulling in, but at the same time, people were getting offended. As a matter of fact, last summer, you were like, man, I wish Dave and Megan were still around. And I'm like, yes. What's going on? What's the tea?
Okay, it was around the time of when Trump won the election. And you guys had that team. You had a feud going between the two of you where David was running the daughter of a conservative senator,
Larissa Johnson.
Yep.
And the other characters, thank you for remembering these names. Between post-concussion syndrome and 2 decades of smoking, there's like 3 brain cells huddled around a fire right now going, guys, we're not going to make it through the winter.
I was telling you that like some of the characters we still use, actually the names still flow around somewhere. Like not necessarily outside feds, but they kind of like recurring jokes between us. So
Mary Ellen Harrison, the one where it was, like, hey, do you want to see pubes or lack thereof? Check out her Twitter.
I'll admit, I had no fucking clue what I was doing back then. I thought that would work, and I ended up that it works, but for the wrong reason. So
yeah, but it was the polarizing opposites of you had the daughter of a conservative senator feuding with an open lesbian female. Yep. That alone was the opposites attract shit. I loved it. It was, oh God, it was great. It was great. And when the whole thing with Trump winning it through 2017, when the further, political polarization, I don't like talking about it in real life because of said polarization. Both sides drift further and further apart, and I'm sitting there thinking, this is a perfect time for Larissa and a perfect time for Mary Ellen. The world needs them back.
I mean,
give people something to really, really see butthurt about.
I will say that I know. I'm not sure of Megan anyway, but I know, like, since the time between when I left, I think, whoops, that's, anybody heard that? That was a retweet. What was it? Between the time I left, I believe UT was the last Fed I was in, I believe.
Yes, you were.
Between that and now, and like that, there has been, like, sporadic moments where I thought, I wonder if it's actually, if I actually could, at the very least, wake up the Twitter account again. Not necessarily have the characters go back into our feds, because, like, if we're gonna get to a point where I'm gonna talk about my history and all that, I'll save it for that. But, like, there's always the thought of, at the very least, would it be a good idea to wake up the the characters again, because at the very least I could have them be vocal and I could have them be utilities and other stuff, or at the very least, like back and forth banter and all that. Hell, I actually for Megan anyway. I don't know if I have no problem in bringing this up, but at the time Megan's got a a Fed character out of character tweeting stuff to her every time Finn Balor shows up on TV.
Yeah,
so,
Griffin.
Yeah. Which, if I remember correctly, actually was in some way connected with Marianne at one point before, I believe.
Yes. The whole thing. Thing is, now that we're talking about Marianne,
I can still hear you, but I won't be talking for roughly 90 seconds.
Okay. But, the whole Mary Ellen thing versus Veronica, that, I obviously...
Larissa, you mean?
What?
You mean Larissa, right? Or was it... Yeah, actually meant Veronica.
Mary Ellen.
Yeah, but you said Veronica. I don't know if you meant Veronica or Larissa.
Veronica.
Yeah, okay.
Thing is, the whole thing with the Canadian... I'm gonna clear this up right now. Jeremy, can you market this, please?
I think he said he was gonna...
Yes, the marketing machine is available.
Okay. Market the actual concept of Canadian Bliss versus the Irish girls, and some things I actually put out there.
Oh, geez, actually, there was actually one thing that actually kind of made me kick myself as to not having the characters continue. Because I know in all feds we've done before, like at least character based, or base type feds where you have real life wrestlers be the looks for the characters. I know that in a fed you've been in before, they've been guilty of having the success of the base affect the success of the character. And I was kind of thinking, shit, if I was still controlling Melanie O'Flynn, who has it was based on Becky Lynch, as she's going now, I was like, holy crap, what would happen?
And that I think that's one reason why there's the whole debate over pick bases versus unique poser / micro images or hand-drawn images is, that thing with the pick base. It's like, what if you wake up one day, what if Becky Lynch decides she wants to be blonde tomorrow? Yeah.
I've had, I actually have had that problem before one character.
But, that's one of the cons of pick bases. I'm not anti-pick base, but that's a problem you'll have to deal with if you use one.
I know. At least at the very least, I had one character like with UTA where I did have to pick base, but I brought it into UTA where he used the posers. At least the transition with that actually worked out alright.
Right.
Yeah, and it was because you happen to have a good poser artist. When you have a good artist who actually cares about what they're rendering, when you actually care about the art form, you care about the artwork, and you love the art, you're going to be asking people. You're going to be like, hey, what do you want? I made one for you two. I made you two a banner. And the next show that you do, instead of the banner that you see behind YouTube, you'll probably see the banner that I made for you. You'll see a little bit of my work.
Yeah, I could try putting up now, actually, if I got it.
At @the_micro_man on Twitter.
Cheap plug.
Take another shot.
But here's the thing about this is what I pictured the Canadian Bliss feud as two families. The Harrisons having a problem with the Van Claudios. Obviously the Harrisons and the Van Claudios, they were rivals in over time. Amy and Marianne's father wrestled the father of Veronica and Van Claudio, so it was a heated blood battle. And the point of Veronica attacking Mary Ellen was not because of her sexuality. Let's get this out of the way, guys. Not because of her sexuality. Not because of she's looking at people. Thing is, the focus on that storyline was, and I don't know, and sadly this ended at a Explosion, which to be honest should have ended at a pay-per-view, was Mary Ellen needs to prove herself as a wrestler. If she's spending her time paying attention, looking at photos and everything like that, she should put into her situation as crap. Yeah, I'm going to admit, I'm going to be the bigger person here. Yeah, I did go overboard with Vanessa Jackson basically using bundle of sticks.
I
Okay.
know. I know. I was there. I was present with everything, and I, and did you actually? I did not read the tweet in question that you're talking about just now. I read virtually everything else that you two had to say, and I'm like, listen, you guys are talking to the king of controversy. In the grand scheme of things, what you're doing is tame compared to what we're really worried about. What you're doing is what we want done. Because we know it's being done by people who don't legitimately feel that way and who thus aren't going to write as if they do. Like, okay, if an average person has to portray a racist, they will do so moderately. If a true racist has to portray a racist, it's going to get out of hand. Because that's just enhancing what's already there.
I mean, look at that's another thing I left too, because I was called this and that. When quite frankly, I'm not that. I portray the characters. You see characters on TV. Matter of fact, I compared the character of Teabag, Robert Naper, to as well. He plays Teabag. Teabag's racist. Teabag's this. Teabag's that. Well, Robert Naper, the actor, is not like that in real life. He's just doing his job as an actor.
I'm just gonna put this out there as a kind of like to put under the line of the argument of, because I know there are people that like that said the best characters in wrestling is the real person turned up to 11. But here's a perfect example of what we were doing at the time is definitely not that case. I'm definitely not Mary Ellen Harrison. I am definitely not a redhead, openly gay woman. Okay.
Well, now she has black hair.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We changed. We did something else. But yeah, that's definitely not the case. So you can't be blaming me. You can't be saying, oh, I'm playing myself, because that's definitely not me. So it's not always we're playing ourselves cranked up. Just get that out of the way. So also, actually, I'll just throw this out for Vazil in the chat. Just to get back here. He just said, thank you, Madman, for what he mentioned there. And also, he said, I will never understand the argument about character reps. In my honest opinion, they're all valid as long as they're consistent with the Fed using them.
Right.
He was talking about the big bases, I believe.
I mean, if you guys got... Here's the thing. If you got offended about the storylines, I mean, nowadays, if I ever returned, I won't do that. I would have to think of something more controversial, but I have to be careful nowadays, because we see everything going on TV these days with the whole Trump yelling at this, Trump yelling at that, and I did mention the whole Reddit thing with Vince McMahon dropping the N-word. But I just want to be in a place where I don't have to worry about that. I can do whatever I do. I want to be able to produce my own things. That's why you really liked it, Jeremy, because I had this vision. I'm like, is the vision going to work? How is people going to react? I mean, I got the reaction, but...
And then there were just other things that, as a promoter, I said this earlier, you don't tell your workers what to do. You enable them to do what they can do. I remember with you one time, Pedro and I were discussing, and he was like, we need a challenger for our secondary. We need a challenger for the West Coast. And he said, I got to throw Megan in there. I don't know how to set it up. I don't know what to do. I said, leave it to me. I came to you. Megan, do me a favor. Cut a promo in the ring, climbing a ladder, talking about how you're going to climb the ladder in GPW. Can you cut that promo for me and put it on a segment for the show? Yeah, Jeremy, I can do that. Next thing you know, you're in a title match and you won the motherfucker. That's called a promoter enabling his worker to do what they need to do, not telling them what to do. The reason I had you do it with the ladder like that was because it was a ladder match. And we'd already determined that. And I smartened you up slowly, a bit at a time, partly because I wanted to surprise you. I just wanted to see your reaction. So I think you knew, and a part of me wanted to see if you could tell what was going to happen when you're like, a ladder? What's happening here?
When you mentioned that, I was like, okay, yeah, fine, boom, bang, done. I was like, okay, I have an idea.
And then
I know what I'm
then
gonna
you see
say.
the card post, and you're like, oh.
I mean, the RP, honestly, I still read that RP, but since you mentioned that, um, another thing, the reason why I left is honestly, I felt my time was done, and I told Ben on the last UTA show where you said that I sounded more confident. I remember you saying that compared being on radio shows, comparing the past, getting upset and everything like that too. My second run in UTA, I speak highly of because honestly, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I wasn't gonna come back. Not after what happened. Not after the people there. And I listened to the radio show, and I'm like, okay. Well, I'm like, what's going on? Because when I got that phone, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So I'm like, okay, tonight's UTA radio. Let me listen. And then when I heard that and my name being blasted, like shit, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I'm like, what's the follow for? And obviously it was for Ring King. Um, then Ben messaged me a couple days later, and I stared at the message, and I'm like, okay, I will come back. But Ben said I can't change anything. I'm like, that's fine. But you know, it was like I'm going into where shark infested water, and I have to swim in those shark infested water. I have to prove myself. I can't fuck around like I did in the past. This is
and
now
not,
serious.
and
What?
this is again, just the direction that things went, and that's we were talking about stories that happened 5 years ago, where we were afraid that a politically driven angle was going to offend people because one of them may have used something resembling a slur against LGBTQ people. Oh my God, that's gonna kill. Everyone's gonna leave the Fed. We're gonna close down. You fast forward, and it goes to like you just said. Rape jokes are commonly acceptable in fucking character. And this is not me talking about the people who are a part of this. You can understand why I have to hesitate before I can specifically look at this guy. I know that a lot of it was really like, I'm like, I get what you're saying about anything being allowed in a creative point, but if it hits close to home, then it hits close to home, and it's like, oh, you know,
Yeah, I
like
think
if I'm running an angle where someone's dad died of lung cancer, and I'm playing a Fed where the Fed head's father just died of lung cancer, guess what? I might need to make sure I don't mention that in my shit because that's common courtesy.
think
Because guess what? That's the situation I'm in right now in HOW, highoctanewrestling.com. Actually, HOWrestling.com. Fuck,
okay,
the machine glitched.
okay, machine glitch. But here's the thing. When you told me someone said, and I'm not going to repeat it because it will make me upset. When you told me that, I was like, what? The comment that was made, and I was in shock.
I wasn't happy with it either. My unhappiness with the comment was your unhappiness. In other words, I was upset because you were upset. The value of, okay, it was something said within the confines of entertainment, within the confines of fantasy, of role play, of creative writing, within the confines of just being something as part of a creative writing piece. I understand, and if we don't like that kind of shit, they'll tell you in the rules. That's why they have vanilla and chocolate ice cream. Some places will let you do that shit, some places won't.
I mean,
But the point of it is if you got someone that says, hey, I did not like that, that rubbed me the wrong way. The honorable, the best thing to do, and the decent human being thing to do is to go, you're right, my bad, let's not do that again. I can't do anything about the fact that I already did it. I can't take that back. It's in the books of existence. It happened, and it's there. But I can just make sure it doesn't happen again. That's the best you can do about something in that situation. But meanwhile, though, the damage is still done regardless. You can apologize all you want, but at the end of the day, the damage was still done, and you walked away. E-Fetting lost a hard-working fucking handler, and the same when we lost Dave. E-Fetting lost another good handler.
Which Dave?
The one on the call.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a second, because Zilla's real name is the same name as Dave.
I really don't know how to take that. It's like, he lost Dave. It's like, which one? It's like, is it not bloody obvious?
It's ironic you mention that, because that's another person who I bet you, if he were on this call right now, would probably have a very similar story. That somebody made a joke that crossed a line that shouldn't have been fucking crossed. And he just chose to say, fuck this. If this is how the game is, I'm just not going to fucking play it anymore. I bet you that, I don't know if that's what he'd say. I can't speak for him. But I remember things around that time. I remember things that happened, around that time in Feds. You were there for some of it too. I don't know if you remember. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to bring up bad memories. I'm just saying, Zilla's there too. That's 4 people right there that we could speak of that walked away from the game because it just turned into something they could no longer be a part of. And mind you, I made a fucking character out of saying nasty shit to people. And I couldn't take it anymore. But I found my way back. There is hope. We have reached that hump. People have risen. We've realized the power is in our hands. If we don't like people being douchebags, we have one of 2 choices. Quit being douchebags or quit talking to douchebags.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. When I came back the second term of GTA, it was like, okay, I got to prove the people who are poking fun at me wrong. And then when Ben made the announcement of the world title match with Marie Van Claudio, I was like, what? I lost the first round. What? I was like, what? And I told Ben, I'm like, Ben, are you sure about this? And he goes, he says something, and I was like, I need Megan to get out of her niche. I'm like, all right.
Do you understand what he meant by that?
I have to get out of my comfort zone.
Yes. And it's also a promoter idea of going in the card. We had this problem in GPW. Pedro would call it mismatching. And I would just call it, card placement. It is, once in a while, you have to have somebody who, and I'm being 100% honest, I need to take somebody who I perceive to be better than somebody else, and I need to book them against each other so people can get the concept that upsets are possible. You know what I mean? You have to understand, the concept that it's possible that this guy who's wrestled, he's third on the show, we're going to put him in the main event against the main event guy, and everyone's thinking, all right, yeah, we'll see. He might put up a little bit of a fight. Oh my God, he fucking won. That's the unpredictability that he was trying to push with you. Get you out of your comfort zone and get you to go, I can do this. Mm-hmm. Because you didn't on that night, but you very well could have. And if someone else would have given you that opportunity at another time, you could have done it then too. That's why you give those opportunities.
Thing is, I looked.
Pedro played it safe. Ben and I did not.
Thing is, when I heard that, and it was 2 weeks. I think it was July 7th. I was getting ready to go on vacation, and I am like, what's going on here? I was nervous, and I'm like, and I told Dave, like, Dave, I don't know what to do. So I'm like, okay, let me just
put your boots on and go to work. That's what you do.
Right.
That's what I would do. Hold on a second.
This was during the time where I didn't work the 6 days I'm working now. This was when I had 2 days to work. So I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to execute this? How is this going to happen? I'm like, all right, okay, just write what's on your mind. First RP didn't fare well. And then second RP, I had to go to Zilla. Because deep down in my heart, I knew I had to produce something big. And Zilla 100% helped me with this. And when Ben gave the feedback on the RP, he said, okay, the first one was bad. Will's RP was bad. Will's RP, first RP was good. My first RP was bad. Then it was vice versa. And then Will, who was LFB's handler, was like, who the hell is this person? I actually, from what he told me, had him stumped.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. And then
I loved working with Will, man. Will was a treat. Will was a class act. He really was. Out of it, a lot of people there were some good people there. And even though he worked as a heel, class act, dude. Under that mask, one of the coolest dudes there could have been.
how is he? I haven't spoken to him in years.
We talk on occasion, like we message maybe a couple times a year, just enough to be like, hey, still on my mind, brother.
Okay,
He's
that's good.
all right. I don't believe he e-feds anymore. If he does, I do not know where it's at. I wish I could tell you where to find him if he was, because like I said, and he was a good promo cutter. He understood the art of cutting a promo. You don't just talk in front of a camera. You have a point, and you make said point.
I mean, he said, you had me stumped. I was like, well, what the heck? And then some of the worst critics when I did the backstage promo was like, oh my God, Megan, what's going on here? This is out of your niche and everything. I'm like, well, I have to do something to hype up the championship match. And then Ben said, if I hadn't said something inappropriate, I'm sorry, childish, I would have won the title. I was just in shock that the title match was happening. I had to get out of my comfort zone, and I felt like I did the best work in my second run. I mean, sure, I may have coasted a little along, and then I picked up. I tried to do the Facebook and everything, the Facebook, the thing and everything like that. But
And that is the segue into, I guess it might be my final point of the evening before I shill a shit ton of shit, and then I got to jump off the call, which is stepping out of your comfort zone. I'm going to say this is about real life. Anything you do, real life, playing a game, whatever it is you're doing, step out of your fucking comfort zone. I loved micros for years. I've seen them. I love them. I'm like, man, I can't do that shit. I don't have that in me. I went to college for graphics 15 years ago. I can't do that shit. January, Ben starts putting up some e-wrestling courses. eWrestlingUniversity.net. If you're new to e-fetting, go check that site out. They have everything you need to learn how to create micros just like I do. I picked this ball up and I rolled with it. I got out of my comfort zone. And now my new comfort zone is in the waiting arms of my micro template bases. And there are many of them. They are legion. And I will never run out of micros to do. It is infinite. I will never run out of textures. I will never run out of possibilities. There will always be new characters, and there will always be new handlers. And I don't want to just make these for e-fetters. That's why I'm trying to plug, the_micro_man on Twitter. Take another drink. I better get some fucking poser requests from this tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Micro requests for real. Not to confuse micro with poser. It just happens all the time. And poser is a great alternative, by the way. I don't do it because I'm not good with 3D modeling. If you prefer a 3D modeler, you need to find somebody versed in the art of poser. A man named Mike Best on Twitter, at HOF Mike Best. He can assist you with this. If you like your 2D 16-bit Sega Genesis micro feel, if that's what you love, I'm your man. But you got to be willing to step out of your comfort zone and try new things. Megan, you got to be willing to jump out and take those high-profile matches and not be afraid of, oh, man, I might get creamed. You might fucking win. Or you might put up such a good fight that you look good. You look better by losing than the other guy did by winning. The other guy looks lucky because you put up such a hell of a fight. That's what could happen. And, David, you got to be able to step out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to poke your head out of the sand with Larissa or any of your characters that you feel like you might want to use. You may not even really have to, don't overly interact. You don't have to take it too far. Just pop something out and go, whoa, haven't logged into this for a while. Insert snarky comment my character would make here. Anyone who's listening to this, I don't care. Don't be afraid. Apply for that job you don't think you have a chance of getting. Swipe on that girl on Tinder that you don't think you stand a chance with. Take that effort. Try to learn a foreign language. Try to pick up, try to train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Pick something up and don't be afraid. The worst that you can possibly do is learn a new way not to do something. That's the worst that can happen to you, is you have an experience of, hey, I tried that and this is what happened. If I try it again, I know what not to do. Like that's, I guess that's the main thing I can say overall of tonight, that people are going to be dicks, but for the most part, we're all just fake wrestlers on the internet trying to have fun. If you want to get into e-betting, it's a great place to be. eWrestlingUniversity.net has some intro courses to get you started. And once you've gotten started, 2 places you're going to want to check out to begin playing our game are onlinechampionshipwrestling.com and HOWrestling.com. Last but not least, if you're having trouble determining what you want your character to look like, and you think, well, I just don't want to take a picture of Finn Balor. Can you draw me Finn Balor, but do something with his hair? Maybe give him some different tights or some tattoos that are different? You need to come holler at your boy. It may not be a full 3D WWE 2K19 looking creation, but I can give you something that looks like you. It is you. And it is definitely unique. And when you look at it, there will never be another one like it. It is you. I enjoy what I do. I absolutely love this. I love the enjoyment. People tell me all the time, I am so amazed how well you did this. Thank you so much. And this is why I tell everyone, don't be afraid. I'm telling you, step out of your comfort zone. I might be an asshole that rubbed you the wrong way on Twitter. Message me and say, hey, I don't like you. I know you're a piece of ragged shit and I hate your guts, but I love your artwork. Would you mind making me a micro? And I'm going to put my beef aside with you in a heartbeat, and I'm going to ask you, okay, here's what I need to make it look the best it can. And I'm going to do the best I can for you. And I hope that you have as much fun looking at it and sharing it as I do making it. The_micro_man on Twitter. I'm taking one more shot for the road. Thank you both so much for having me tonight. I heart you both fucking dearly. I'll throw someone off a fucking roof for either of you.
Thank you. You're making me smile. I'm also choking up. As I say, you are the true friend Dave and I had for 5 years. You're like family to me. We can go out to you for anything like that. And obviously, I'm just going to play one more note before me and Dave sign off here for the night. Guys, E-Fetters, you know who you are. Some of you may not like us. Dave said you're probably guilty. He's guilty by association. That's all right. Dave and I, we may have butt heads for many years, and most of the time, but we all had each other's back. Me and Dave, and especially Jeremy, and especially Zilla if he's still in the room. But here's the thing: any fetter that has a problem, whether you're past or current, with me, address it to me personally. We'll hash it out. We'll clear off the beef. We'll squash it. That's why I said tonight is the show to put everything in the coffin. Okay? I don't want to point fingers or anything, but if you still have my name in your mouth and you have that issue with me, come to me. We'll address it. Like I said, I'm going to be 30 in a year. I have no problem talking it out. If you're still angry about how I treated you, like I said, I'm not a good person, and I'm going to admit right now, speaking my mind, that's me. That's always been Megan. But if I'm not brutally honest, I can't be Megan because that's always me. I'm brutally honest, but I don't want to ramble on anymore. But as I was saying, time to wrap this up. You guys have a problem with me? Let's talk it out. Any e-fetter or anything like that. Jeremy, I'm surprised you're not putting this out there. Me and our marketing person.
All I'm saying is, off a cliff.
Off a cliff.
Off a cliff.
Push off a cliff.
If it were up to me, we'd all be partying on the cliff together as one.
Hell yeah. Dave, you anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
Not really. Just again, Jeremy, just say thanks for the kind words and all the plugs, all the excuses to drink, and yeah.
Hey,
fun talking to you. Fun be able to play the game with you for all this time, and I have to say we gotta do. I'll do this again sometime. You know, don't want it to be a one and done occurrence.
I was about to say I can't wait to crash your 20th live episode.
Knock on wood, we get there.
You know what? Have faith and don't be afraid. You'll be there. We just gotta have each other's backs, and you know what? We got this.
Well, we've lasted 10, so here's the 20.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Jeremy, thank you so much. The people in the comments, thank you so much. Zilla, appreciate it. I gotta go off because my voice is getting shot right now.
Also, just say Dead Thing 79 in the chat. I see. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry you came in at the very end, but this you can always listen to this again. This will be available to listen again, and yeah, like I said, we'll do this again sometime. We'll be on next week, so we're always good with shooting the shit.
Whenever it gets to make sure that link gets to me, I'll get it up.
What link? What's he talking about?
I don't know. I didn't know actually because he said it. Is he still there?
No, he's gone.
Oh, okay. Left us on a cliffhanger there. Oh.
Okay, cliffhanger. But as I said, you know, episode 10, I think we did pretty damn good.
You did all right.
All right. But thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week for episode 11. Good night, everyone.
Night night.